Hey guys, welcome back. I trust everyone is doing well. We are back with some more Hulk comics here, and all these monsters have been sent by someone named the Eldest after the Hulk, the strongest there is, and they have started to fall promptly, with Brother D being his first victim, and it looks like the Man-10 is about to follow up. Right now, it looks like every villain used in the Hulk story is just put there to suffer by the Hulk's hand. How will the Man-10 do against the Hulk? So let's dive right in. But first, take your time to watch this video, and if you think it's a good one, then be sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more content like this. Okay, let's go. So I've been sober since birth. Okay, this is a bit random, but these are some of the reasons why I stayed sober my entire life. This one picked up at Florida with this fella who is obviously a drunk, and I think this guy is just walking home after he's picked up some beer cans, and I could be wrong, and this may be soda or even yet just canned water. But then the rain began to drizzle, and this guy who is again obviously drunk because while strolling, he came across these frogs, and he tries to have a conversation with these frogs. Like, hey froggo, we're about to get wet, aren't we? Man, he even burped like a frog, like broko. But before he could finish his conversation with his new friends, he heard someone call out his name from behind him, specifically from the swamp. He turned around, and from the shock, he dropped his drinks because it's Ashley, his former girlfriend. But Ashley died to Duke's drunk driving when they were young, which is why when Ashley asked Duke to drive her home because it's raining, Duke was like, but we wrecked the truck when we were kids. Like, drive you home with which car? But she told him not to worry about what happened in the crash, which is really weird considering what really happened, and we'll get there in a minute. But then she goes on to ask him, I'm still pretty, right? So then don't worry, come to me, let's do it under the stars like we used to. Come on Duke, step off the road and come to me, Duke. And this dude looked into this creature's all black eyes, which is another indication to warn him off of danger. But nope, this dude still worked his stupid ass to her. And I guess he was drunk, so it is what it is. Or maybe it's probably because she told him to come to her so they can do it under the stars like they used to. And my boy suddenly got a break in his pants. But then when he got closer to her, the swamp kinda like moved from under him, causing him to slip, falling backwards. She then slowly walked to him whilst telling him that she's always been in this swamp since he drove her here blackout drunk, and as a result losing her head out the windshield, never to be found again. Which is when Duke realized he ain't getting any cushy tonight, and his face after realizing that he hasn't wiped off his browser's history. I mean, it's a joke, but you get it. And what Ashley did to him under the stars is a tale left to be told only by the frogs. Days later, Banner and Charlene have made their way to this same Florida using the back of a pickup truck. When they got here, Charlene quickly realized that this wasn't the place she had thought this place would be, having wetlands all over when she had hoped for an ocean. But they both agreed on the fact that this place does seem off with weird people all around. And whilst Banner is open for conversation, she told him that herself and her friend spent months getting her grandma's Mustang running so they could come here. Poor Rusty, you remember him, right? First and last we've seen of him was in the first issue when Charlene's father chased them into the woods. Charlene survived the woods though, but I doubt Rusty survived it, with the eldest and her monster siblings roaming that same forest at that time, and more so having one of these monsters feast on something, which at the time I believe was poor Rusty. I'll leave link in the description to the first issue or the entire playlist. And with telling Bruce that they wanted to come here with Grandma's Mustang, Bruce asked her, then what? What would you have done once you and your friend make it here? And she has no idea, but they will be out of Estill County, which is what matters. Then Bruce goes on to tell her that she can still have a life here. Seen from how she's already fixing cars at age 16, it shouldn't be hard finding a job or getting into a school. Like enroll into a college town, save up some money and build whatever life she wants, which is exactly what little Charlene needs to go full Karen mode on Bruce, suggesting that Bruce is trying to get rid of her, which is partly true because Bruce was like, What? Where did you get that from? Like, what the I mean, it's kinda obvious, Bruce. She then perpetrates that Bruce is scared because Hulk likes her more than Bruce himself, and that he's scared that she will be strong like the Hulk. She even curses him out, telling Bruce that she's not going anywhere, with Bruce all the while looking at her like, kid, you have no idea what's about to happen. And we'll see that in just a minute. But for Bruce, he just wants to know if Charlene's mean behavior is just a charade for the Hulk to find her favorable. But Charlene curses him out again, so Bruce tells her about his origin, about how he was caught in a gamma bomb which turned out this way. He also goes on to tell her that if she thinks prolonged exposure to the Hulk might be enough to make her a Hulk, then she's delusional, and that not even a blood transfusion would work, and that it's far more complicated than that because she might even end up dead. But for me, it feels like this is one of the instances where little Charlene will prove Bruce wrong and become a Hulk, with maybe having a compatible genetics coupled with her messed up mind, just like Bruce was when he was a kid, having to deal with his abusive father in Brian Banner, exactly like Charlene and her father. And even if she doesn't become a Hulk, I'm sure she'll end up with some kind of superpower to officially become Hulk's sidekick. And these are just my thoughts, but let's keep an eye on her for the foreseeable future. Bruce continues to tell her that he knows how hard life has been for her.
Life hard.
With her abusive father, and that she might be looking for a father figure or a big brother in someone. But he ain't that person, because the eldest and her monster siblings are on the hands for the Hulk, of which they will eventually catch up. And if she's still with him, she might end up as a casualty, which is a fact, but also a good indication for me that someone is about to dip. So Bruce tells her to stay strong as always, and she doesn't need to be around the Hulk to be strong. With that being said, he told her to rest up and he will be back with some food. So he grabbed the cape and dips, leaving her alone. And this is an old dad trick. Spoiler alert, they don't come back with the groceries. It's the cape for me. When they take the cape with them, no, they ain't coming back. But while Charlene is here waiting for Bruce, who will surely not return, she dozed off and only awoken by the news of her, a 16-year-old Charlene Tidwell, wanted for questioning, probably because of her old man's death. And if you haven't watched my previous Hulk videos, then no, Charlene didn't kill her father. She only beat him into a bloody poop, and she left him alive, only to be killed or possessed by one of the eldest siblings. And for them, if they possess your body, once they vacate it, they leave it dead, which is because the normal human body can't handle their transformations. So Charlene asked one of the waiters where Bruce was, and she was told that Bruce had paid for his burger and then left. And with the news still on and intensifying for Charlene every second, with more information like Miss Tidwell may be traveling in the company of another person and should be considered dangerous. She also has scars on the left side of her face. Any information about her should be submitted to the feds. With that, Charlene covered part of her face and then left. Meanwhile, we have Hulk here, who is still on the road after darkening Charlene when the rain picked up. And keep in mind, this place is a wetland, so it has its fair share of water bodies and swamps, which is why when little Charlene ran out yelling for either the Hulk or Banner to come for her, she heard the name Chani coming from the swamp. She turned around and it was a being that looked like his younger brother, and she knew this kid was dead, which is what confused her a bit. So there's one thing about having a loved one die and not fully accepting it, thereby wanting them to return. We all would have want that, right? But if I see a dead relative like this, especially after seeing his or her body buried, nah bro, I'm gone just like that. But then the kid told Charlene that he's sorry for getting her in trouble, and Charlene told the kid that it wasn't his fault, but rather their father. So she then tells him to come out of there into the dry land, but kid was like, I can't, the mud is all sticky, come pick me up. And I'm like, you sneaky little piece of... Meanwhile, we have Bruce here, who came across this swamp elsewhere. He thought he saw a reflection of the Hulk in the water body, but nope, it was the man thing himself. the guardian of the nexus of realities. And Bruce immediately realizes who this was, as in Thessalis, the Man-Thing, and also a former friend. So he tries to tell him that something is after him and might be after the Man-Thing as well. But the Man-Thing, without saying a word, grabbed Bruce, causing Bruce to burn in pain because whatever that knows fear burns at the touch of the Man-Thing. And after grabbing Bruce, he yanked him inside himself. And I was like, yep, karma is a biatch. Until I realized this was a bad idea and now realize what's about to happen. And yep, the Hulk transformed himself out of the Man-Thing, thereby tearing him apart and was like stupid plant. But then Thessalis came to Hulk from behind him and he wasn't really looking for a fight with the Hulk. He wanted to talk to him. He wanted him into the nexus of realities, and that's why he absorbed the Hulk, instantly teleporting him to the nexus of reality and then bring him out. But the Hulk had no idea and was impatient as well, which is why he tore his way out. So it wasn't like the Man-Thing was out for the Hulk and the Hulk beat him. Like, the Man-Thing knew what he was doing. Sorry, my Hulk fans, sorry. But I can't say the Man-Thing was one-shotted by the Hulk. But Thessalis told Hulk that he's in the Nexus now, and why he brought him in this way is to talk to him as Thessalis with much greater clarity than the Man-Thing is capable of. He then goes on to tell Hulk that the Nexus is in danger from the Eldest, who is too strong for him alone to handle. And for the Man-Thing, who is seeing almost everything, the Eldest seem to be older than anything he's seen, and she is awoken in the swamp more than just them, and they are now feeding. And from Charlene's feats, it looks like she is about to become a victim, because when she realized this can't be El, her younger brother, because he's dead, she was already in the swamp. And from this point of view, it looks like it's too late. And so yeah, ladies, this is it. We will have to wait for the next issue to find out if Charlene will be strong enough to save herself from this creature. So yeah, if you think this is a good video, I want you to do 3 things for me, or at least 1, which is like and subscribe to the channel for the next issue, and the 3rd one is for you to drop that bottle because it ain't worth it. Peace be with you all. Voila.